Yo, what is up, guys? So today we are going to be tackling something a little bit more taboo. Someone whose name I cannot even say due to what he did. And I'm just going to call him Person X. Now, Person X is what is described as the greatest story ever told. And I want to jump into a few things. Person X is like the only guy that every single group of people can agree is bad. Like, no matter what, Satanists, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Shias, no matter what political party you are, you can always agree that that man is bad. Which says something. Why is he the only one that we have to unconditionally use as evil, evil, evil? In addition to that, saying a single good thing about him, even if you say he's a bad person, but he did this one good thing, will get you torn apart. Like, I once did an experiment. I said one good thing about him, and I was just getting spammed with messages over and over and over for weeks, and it just wouldn't stop. And I was like, I said one good thing about him. You say one good thing about other bad people, even people that we the Muslims consider bad, like Netanyahu, David Wood, or whatever. And even then, you won't get as big of a reaction. I've seen people call Netanyahu, David Wood, and others good and get less hate than me from Muslims than when I admitted a few things that Person X did. Like, that's crazy. Like, everyone's like programmed in a way. Like, you can't even say his name. Like, that's how bad it is. I'm just saying it so I don't get in trouble. And a lot of this stuff I have to water down, speak in code. And part of the reason why they do that is if I said everything full fledged and speak in code, eventually people start to wake up more and more, and they don't want that. So the first thing is we have the number. You always hear 6, you know what, were killed. 6 were killed. But guess what? First off, they were saying that in 1933 and 1938 too. The first president of Israel, David Ben Gurion, was saying 6 were murdered before World War II ended. He also was saying that 6 were harassed in Europe before the painter even took power. So that number is consistently used all the time. Look at the Epstein files, how much is there? And in fact, one of the biggest financial loans in history that helped damage us, which I'll have to relook into, was 6, then some zeros. So the number is already a Kabbalistic satanic number, and it's even used in the text of these people to use 6, that number. So that's the first step. Now, what actually happened, because that's the biggest thing he's criticized for. And what I find funny is, let's just say hypothetically it did happen. There were so much more genocides that were worse. King Leopold II of Belgium killed 10 to 15 million people of the Congos, enslaved them, cut their hands off, cut their limbs, tore their limbs, R-worded them, did so much horrible things. Joseph Stalin had the Holodomor, the Great Famine, the Red Purge. Mao Zedong did numerous purges. Abu Jahl, Pharaoh, and yet we always focus on him. Pol Pot, health there, Imam, some some Ugandan leader. Like, there's always all these big purges. He's the only one that's talked about. So first off, it was shown to even get that number with the technology and war effort they were using, it would take 68 years, and they lasted 12. Second off, a lot of their biggest camps were built on water, where they couldn't possibly put all those bodies. Like, if it's built on water, where can you bury all those bodies? Like, there's no room for all those bodies. And if they were treating them inhumane, why was there a pool table? Why was there good housing? Why was there entertainment? Why was there food? Like, why was all that there? Like, if you're treating, like, you saw people in the past, like Pharaoh, Abu Jahl, with the people they oppressed, did they give them pool tables, water, housing? Did they give them good food? No, that didn't happen. Second off, a lot of the people that confessed in Nuremberg were forced to because they did some things to them which I can't even say. They're so horrible that I even want to say that anyone would fold under pressure. And we've even seen this in the past when Islam first came. a lot of the people at the beginning cursed out Muhammad and Islam just because they were tortured that badly and reacted as if it could never happen again. And a lot of their victims were exposed for faking their stories, for having like contradictions, for being paid for. And second off, there was gassing, however, that was to gas a disease called typhus, and they shaved their hair because of hair lice and it was spreading, and that's why they did it. And by the time the Allies came, everyone was all starved because there was no food due to the war going on, barely any water. They had run out of resources, and people were dead due to typhus. And a lot of the images of the dead people were German soldiers that the USSR particularly played in to help propagate it. And they also helped spread out fake documents, and there were no even official orders from the painter himself to do that. That destroys this narrative. That destroys the first narrative. Second off, let's talk about good things he did. First off, he loved animals and was like the first European leader to introduce care to animals and wildlife. Before him, animals were treated horribly, were treated bad. He was the first to actually combat this. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure some of those laws are still in effect today. Like, you can't deny, even if he was this whole evil guy, he did that, which is a good thing. Now, when it comes to Muslims, he met with Muslim leaders, respected Muhammad ﷺ, loved and admired Islam, even thought it would be fit for Europe. Like, if he hated Muslims, I don't think he'd do that. And it's like people say, oh, we saw this as inferior. The thing is, he was quote unquote what I called liberal racist in that he cared about his people and put his own people first. And what's wrong with that? We Muslims do the same things. We focus on Muslims first and Islamic issues first. He did the same thing. Likewise, we also respect other religions, admire other races, and care about other people as he did too. So it's not like he saw us or anyone as subhuman. He just cared about his people first, which is what any good leader should do. And second off, look at Jesse Owens. When he went there, he was treated much better in Germany than he was in America, and he was greeted warmly and even had dinner with them. Like, if he was racist, why would he do that? Like, he wouldn't even be allowed to play there. And second off, alright, now some more good policies in the States. Before he came, the first instances of homosexuality were coming, pornography, there was a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of prostitution, a lot of haram degeneracy that we see them complain about. He wiped it out. Like, if he's like this big, sinful, satanic guy, why would he wipe out all this stuff? Like, Germany was basically Vegas. Like, look at what we did in America. We didn't have a leader come and wipe it out in 2 years. He did. He wiped out all this and all the child stuff. All their days Epstein's. Second off, he got rid of smoking too, which was another big thing. And to top it all off, people say, well, look at the Havara Agreement. Now here's my thought on this. First off, it's bad, but people can make mistakes. No one is perfect. And second off, even then it wasn't a full mistake, because once again, his priority was his people first. There's a difference between prioritizing your people and wanting to go after others. Second off, he thought it would go smoothly and well if he was just getting them out of Europe. He had no idea this would happen, and he was tricked. And thirdly, he was going through a lot of pressure. So, in my opinion, the Havara Agreement is bad, it's horrible, and it's definitely not one of the best things he did. However, you have to look at the context of this, of the pressure of caring of his people, of being tricked, and you have to look at the good. And there's so much more could go on about it, but that is the greatest story ever told.